Hey, what's up, guys?
Good to see you guys. It's been a few days.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Why are there's four of us up here? What's going on?
Is that Steve? No. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Snapper today, and we can't do that without having our good friend Ben Covarrubias here. This is Tacos Locos from the Discord server. This gentleman goes on an annual snapper run out of Galveston, Texas. Invited me out. I got to go out. John did the run with us. We did the same run, the three of us, a couple years ago. And we can't be talking snapper without the guy who's done it more than just about anybody else around here. So, Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the invite. My name is Ben, native son of Texas, lived here all my life, and when the kids started getting older and started getting into college, we started focusing on getting some of these outdoor excursions put together. And I want to say the first one we did in earnest was my daughter's first year in college in A&M Galveston. And so we did a snapper trip off one of the head boats in Galveston. It's a 12-hour trip. It's like 4 hours of driving, 4 hours of fishing, 4 hours back. And it's just kind of just grew from there. We had a couple of friends over with us and some family, and it seems like every year now I'll, start in December looking for the bookings online and grab as many seats as I can, and then start asking friends and family who wants to go. And this year we had a scheduled date on the 8th of June on a Saturday. Went out and had some first timers on there, and the good Lord blessed us with some very good weather and a really great catch for the day. So it's a lot of fun. And though I grouse about, doing the coordination every year, as soon as it's done, we're already thinking about what do we do different this time, what worked, what didn't, and what are we going to do next year. So already thinking about next year's trip.
Nice. Glad it all went smooth.
Yeah, you're dead on about that, too. And we can probably talk about that a little bit more in just a minute here. But, man, I learned a lot since this is the second time I've had an opportunity to do that run with you. And I learned a lot the last time around. I still made a lot of the same mistakes, because particularly like crossing lines with people, that's just like a hard thing. I don't know if there's much you can learn about that, but the actual, I did learn a lot from the last time, some of the stuff that I was trying, and I employed some of the tactics that I had learned from the last run. And man, personally, I thought we did way better this time than we did on the last trip.
Mm-hmm. And I think some of the catch bears that out. We had a lot of people get, fish that were a lot bigger than just the minimum 16 inches. There's some bows that came up all over that rail.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right about that. Last time we all limited out, but this time we limited it out, and there was, I'm going to say there was 10 times the amount of those plus 28-inch snapper that were coming in the boat. There's a lot of them. Plus a lot more beeliners. We got a lot of vermilion snapper in the boat, which is one of those, it's a bonus catch. You do have to fish for them a little bit different. Personally, in my opinion, when you can get a bunch of those, you're doing really well. We got a half dozen of them myself, and I was tickled pink that we got those.
Nice. Dang good. I got one last year, remember?
Yeah. And that was one of something maybe 6 that was caught on the entire boat.
I didn't see many others. Does the time of year make a difference, you think, Ben? Because last year, was it last year I went with you guys? It was July. It was right. Mid-July. And here, so the season opened on 1 June, and so you're really close to season opener. You think that makes a little bit of a difference?
I other than confirmation bias, I don't know any hard facts, but it would seem to make sense that if the fish are not allowed to be kept up until June 1st, then the sooner you get into the beginning of that season, the better your chances of keeping larger fish. And then later, as you get into the season, the captains are, maybe having to redress and go to some new places or overfish the places that they've been going to. Yeah. So I was really excited to get, a week into it, give them a chance to kind of figure out where their fields are, and then, take us, 7 days into the better spots. And I heard from the deckhands that they had it dialed in pretty well. to the point where they were getting their snapper limit to the boat so fast, they could then spend some time to go after other things like vermilion, like angelfish, maybe find a weed bed or something.
Oh, that's cool. So did you guys move around a lot, or did you pretty much nail them at one spot? Or
if I had to any one criticism, I think we moved too much. We stopped at one spot, and the captain let us fish for maybe 10 minutes before he said, I've seen what I need to see here. Let's move on. And then we moved a few minutes, and like you've been on it once before, that it takes a while to get that anchor up. You got to motor to the next spot. You got to put it down, reposition, and then he gives the all clear. So there was a lot more time on this trip that was spent moving, to the point where we got to the last spot, which was just vermilion snapper fishing, and we had maybe 20 minutes. So it was just, get the lines down a little bit of the ways, reel them up fast, and get to the next one, because 20 minutes later, he was pulling up stakes and we were headed back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that old adage of like, you don't leave fish to get fish. And I understand, and I have a respect for what he's doing, because he is doing this for a business. So I don't know if it was the first or second spot, and I think we ended up going to like 4. As I recall, the first one wasn't too hot, but the second spot we got onto, I believe it was, we were tearing it up. Like that there was fish coming in the boat, and we did not spend too much time at that spot. I think 20 minutes, something like that. And then we pulled up to go check out another one. I think what he was trying to do was he wanted to keep some population of fish at that spot for future trips. And also, like since we were getting him in the boat, he knew we were going to bag out. We were producing good fish there. This also gave him an opportunity to kind of experiment with some of these other spots that, we were sitting there looking at the radar at one point, going in between spots, and we were looking at it. He had his markings from, or the track from the previous runs that he had done. And we were on this one spot, and he was headed straight for another one. And there was a line on the radar from one point to the other. And I was sitting there talking about how I was like, okay, well, it looks like he's going over to this spot over here. And he didn't. He stopped like halfway in between them. So he was at a spot that he didn't have marked on his radar. I'm willing to bet he was probably testing some spots out that he had seen before, other rock piles or something that he was looking at to see if he could, find some other spots for fishing in the future.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like John and I missed a good time.
Yeah, we did. And everybody else in the chat.
Well, you got about
need to get
360 days to think about your time off that time. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you're going to go sit in the corner and think about what you didn't do. This is for anybody who has not done a trip like this. Like if you come down to Texas, you're going to do some saltwater fishing. I highly suggest, I'll be completely honest, I'm not the biggest fan of party boats. It's completely different when we're going out with these guys because they know what they're doing. It's like having the entire back end of the boat to yourself with all your friends and, really nice people. It's going to be kind of hit or miss whether or not you are going to get that same thing if you go out on your own. That having been said, red snapper fishing is something that if you come down to Texas, you absolutely need to consider doing. And if that's how you're going to do it because you will get your fish. You just got to do it with like tangled lines every now and then.
Right. So that, as Stanley points out, the head boat experience, the party boat experience is, there's upwards of like 90 people on this boat fishing, and you're literally shoulder to shoulder at the back end there. So you've got to keep, your line tight. You got to follow your fish. You can't let it move around too much. Heaven forbid you get something like a shark that wants to swim around or a king that wants to go crazy, because you'll just spin around lines. But that's all kind of with the experience, right? And the end result is you go home at the end of the day and you got a couple of nice fish to clean up and eat, and it's fantastic. And for the audience here, if we haven't mentioned it already, both John and Stanley do have videos that they made last year on the experience, and we were all three on the same trip. But it's different perspectives from the same trip, and there were some things to know, some how-tos. They covered things like, safety, what to bring, what not to bring. The head boats supply all the gear, but you can bring your own if you want. In fact, I've even got an example of one of the gears they have. They use these very basic, really thick mono setup.
Did you borrow that?
One of theirs,
I recognize that weight.
I kind of stole it. It's real simple. The hook looks really, really small, and people sometimes think they're broken, but almost everyone who caught, there you go, everyone who caught snapper using the party boat gear brought them up on rigs like this. And the ones that I make are very similar design. I like to use bigger hooks because they're easy to grab a hold of. Stanley rightly points out the open cast reels. They don't supply any spinners, but if you want to bring a spinner, 6,500 weight, but 40-pound mono or 50-pound braid is a good choice. There was one gentleman there who does nothing but slow pitch jigging, and he caught a number of fish. He caught his limit, and then was catching others to help fill out the boat's limit. So there's a lot of different methods you can use, from natural bait. We got an example here of one of the most popular of the jigs is this called a snapper slapper, and anywhere from 3 ounce to 7 ounce. It looks like a squid with a skirt, a couple of assist hooks. So that's one example of an artificer you can use, including swim baits, soft plastics. What else we got here? We got the pitch jiggers right there. So many different ways to do it, and they all work because those fish are voracious.
Yeah, unfortunately now, snapper slappers had a good reputation. A new person bought them, and so you saw what he just showed you. You have 2 assist hooks coming off of that part of it, right? Now they look like this, where the hook comes out of the body. There's no assist. There was an assist hook on the eyelet where you were attach your line, but the line they used for the assist hook was so thick you couldn't attach your line to it anymore. So I'm not sure why they did that. I pulled the assist off, I put a split ring on it, and then I'll put a new assist hook on the split ring, and I'll be able to attach my line to it. But when I talk to people about these, a lot of people are like, look, put some squid on a circle hook or whatever and drop it down there, and you'll catch fish. You don't need to spend $7 or $8 on a lure, which is true.
That's totally true, and I'm not an artificial guy when it comes to snapper. I'm a guy I like to put meat on the hook, drop it down, and get them in as quick as possible. I will say though, Ben, your brother was using I don't know if he was using that particular one you just showed or a similar one, but the second he dropped that thing in the water at the first spot we were at, I said it on camera. It'll be in the video where I said that man, if anybody catches a monster snapper, it is going to be that thing that catches it. And he did. I think it was like the next spot he pulled up and he hooked into a big one. And for reference real quick, when we were talking about what he was talking about with the different kinds of rigs and stuff you can use. So here's one of the things to look at with that. These are, get this on camera here. So that is the circle hook that I use, because like we had talked about, I did things a little bit different this time than we did last time. That's the circle hook that I used, and these are the circle hooks that they provided us. So the one I used worked really good for red snapper, but we did really good getting our red snapper, and I wanted to target the vermilions afterwards. And the smaller hooks that they use, these are, now they're right next to each other, so you can kind of see the size difference better. But that smaller hook worked so much better for the beeliners.
No, yeah, smaller fish, a little bit smaller piece of bait probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's important too. If you're fishing for red snapper out there now, or any snapper, and you're using bait, cut, live, whatever, you have to fish with a circle hook. Right. You can't be using J hooks or Kel hooks or any of those other. It has to be a circle hook now.
Well, that's a great segue to talk about your regulations, because there are size limits, there are seasons, there are bag limits, and to the point about the lures can have something other than circle hooks. But the minute you put the natural bait on it, it becomes illegal unless it's on the circle hook. Yep. And it has to be non-stainless and non-offset.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know that about the offset. Learn something new every day. That's good news. Yeah. That's good info. Also, big time credit to the guys, to the crew, and everybody out on Galveston party boats. The deckhands, everybody on that boat did a fantastic job making sure that all of those fish got vented. Obviously, there's every now and then you lose one due to a gill hook or various things can happen. But man, they were on the ball, and it was really nice to see.
Oh, good.
Very good point. There were very few floaters, and I didn't see any dolphin following the boat eating the floaters as well.
Yeah.
A couple of hammerheads started cruising around, which was neat to see. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was gonna cast out a bait for one of those, or I was jokingly talking about it, and one of those deckhands, and kudos to that guy, kudos to this guy. I was talking about, I was like, I told Rachel, give me my shark rod. I'm gonna get this hammerhead. And the deckhand like kind of walked by and walked away. He's like, the scallop hammerhead, dude, let it go. I was like, it sounds like my Uncle Perry when I'm out on the boat telling me I can't catch that fish. Come on, man. He's dead right, but still.
Imagine the mess it would make to hook a hammerhead on a boat like that with all them lines down there. Jeez.
And it wouldn't have been worth it at all.
No, it wouldn't have.
My good friend Jason did hook into a lemon shark, and they got it to the boat, and then they put the gaff down there. Was it you, Stanley, did that, or somebody put it up on his got his line tangled up, and then just snapped it and pulled the line off. So the sharks climb off with a piercing, but they weren't going to mess.
That
that's
sounds
why you
like
can't use stainless hooks.
Yeah, exactly right. They need to be able to rust out of the mouth, so he will be fine on that. That is a next level deckhand move. I didn't do that, but I know that I know that maneuver. When my dad goes down, they do some trips down to Mexico every now and then, and the deckhands over there are notorious for doing that exact move so that they can keep the fish in the water for the next charter. A lot of the times people don't understand that that's what's going on. Of course, my dad at Perry, they'll get mad about it when they see it happening. But that is that's like if you're a deckhand and you know what you're doing, you can break them off like that intentionally.
Hey, OCD in the house. He's got him and his daughter do an annual trip down there. I think he goes out of Port A, and he's going down tomorrow. He's booked up, so that's cool.
Nice.
Good luck. Hope you guys kill it.
Awesome.
Catch
I will say,
bones.
if there's any one criticism I had about the trip on Saturday, it's about seeing a lack of etiquette on some people's parts. The line starts to get formed as early as like 5 a.m. because people want to get in line to be one of the first ones on the boat to get a spot indoors where it's air conditioned and they got good bench seating. Yeah. And as the deckhands come out to give the pre-boarding orientation about like what you can bring, what you can't bring, how they're going to handle your seat, how they're going to give you your fish back, people crowd to the front. And when they say it's all clear to get on board, you've got this massive mob that's just trying to full funnel on now. And people that had just showed up were literally getting in front of people who had been there for a couple of hours. And so, it's kind of a lack of etiquette, but it's almost like law of the jungle. It's like, maybe lesson learned next year is just have some sharp elbows and just, push your way in.
Unfortunately, that's the way things are now. That, I had a good time on our trip, but I'm not a big fan of that type of fishing just because I've been on a few and I'm getting old and grumpy, so having people ride up on you and lines crossing, that's always been my thing about get my own boat. I don't have to worry about that. We'll see. I haven't got on no snapper yet, so.
Now's the time.
Are you planning on taking your boat out in federal waters? You're going to try to keep to the 9 nautical area?
We're going to go out in federal waters. We haven't yet. Farthest we've been out is we've been right about 9 miles out so far. Okay. And that's just putzing around looking for stuff. But I still got, it's back up here at the house now in San Antonio. I still got some work I'm going to do on it. And then I'm tired today. I just got done loading the truck and my suitcases. I'm road tripping to Michigan tomorrow morning. As soon as I get up, load up, I'm out on a solo road trip. Audrey, my daughter and granddaughter, they're all flying up there, and I'm driving the new truck up and back. So I'm out of here tomorrow. So all that expenses of all that kind of stuff, the boat's on the back burner right now until we get back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but definitely, I've already had some folks give me some spots to check out about 20 to 30 miles out, but I don't have EPIRB yet either, so I'm not going far out at all without the EPIRB. Once I get an EPIRB, I'll feel more comfortable going out.
Don't like tipping. Gotcha. If somebody takes care of me, I don't mind tipping. If we went out, that's what I've been up to this weekend. We moved our son to Carbondale for college, and we ate at a pizza spot that people just could not believe I had never ate at an hour away from here, but it was decent. It was decent pizza. It was pretty good. But yeah, we gave the lady a $20 tip for a $100 pizza bill. You know,
20%?
I thought that was fair, 20%. You know,
Yeah, that's fair. That's about what the tip is. When we did the trip down to Venice, the tuna trip, our tip ended up being about 20%. And I think a couple guys gave a little extra even because they're so happy with how the deckhand handled it and all that. And I know when we did the snapper one, I think we all tipped as well.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because with Terry, you don't want to tip, pay the money, buy your own boat, buy your own gas, get your own bait, find your own fish, and then you don't have to tip.
Right.
You know, my thought on like I kind of tip based on how much assistance I get, and I want zero assistance. I'm going to bait my own hooks. I'm going to tie my own rigs. I'm going to untangle my own lines and gap my own fish. You know, I'm not going to ask for a lot of help. I did ask. They caught a couple of strawberry grouper, and I wasn't sure what the rules were on those guys. So we asked for some help with that. The lady next to me needed some assistance with fish outs and stuff like that, so I asked. So I don't, you know, I inherently don't want to have to tip too much, but my starting limit on that, like if I get zero assistance at all, I'm probably still starting off at a 20% tip, and then they're going to work their way up depending on how much they help me, regardless of whether or not I ask for it. It's kind of my mindset.
Gotcha. I like it.
Yep.
The only other critique I heard about afterwards is that some of my friends reported that the guys who were on the dock who were cleaning fish, and it used to be just for tips. Now it sounds like they're doing more of a set price for cleaning, and they weren't happy with some of the cleaning results they got. That there were either a lot of bones still in the meat, or they left a lot of meat on the carcass. But we
The
just
only
brought
problem
our
I
fish
saw
back home
there-
and just cleaned them ourselves.
When we went, I didn't see any place where you could actually clean your own fish there. You know, I'm in San Antonio, so I'm
Yeah.
going to drive away. But they are taking the whole cleaning station. So if you didn't want to pay them, where are you going to clean your fish? If you have someplace nearby, that's fine. But if you don't, you're kind of SOL.
That's one of the biggest problems that I actually have with that whole thing is I don't want to pay someone to clean my fish. For that been a very good reason why I'm going to do a better job. I trust my work better. I think they're trying to get through it fast, whereas I want, the meat. And I'll even take throats and cheeks and stuff if, I get the chance. I don't like that the fish sits in the ice chest, like I have to go back to the hotel and fillet over there and dump the guts all over somebody's parking spot. I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
That brings up a good question though. How mad, like I'm curious guys, how mad do you think they would be? Like how much of a faux pas would it be if I were to bring a cutting board and set up shop after the trip and fillet fish for people?
Just do it off your tailgate.
Yeah, just on the tailgate,
Right.
like try to make some money back.
Mm-hmm.
I would
I don't-
take every dime and give it to the deckhands, by the way. I don't even care about the money. I would just do it, for the views.
I don't think there's an issue with that. At least you got a place to clean them, right?
You don't think that? I bet those guys would try to kick my ass. I bet they'd be pissed.
They're too busy cleaning fish.
Not after they see the work that I do.
They might want the help. They might want somebody else to do some.
I remember the guy I did mine was a little grumpy and gave a set price. It wasn't like, whatever you feel like giving me. So I felt like it was his job.
I would do it for
Right.
beer.
Yeah,
There
there
you
you go. Beers at the dock.
There you
that's
go.
Perfect. Now, some
And
of
then
these
anybody
catfish,
who doesn't have beer has to go buy the beer and then bring it.
some of these catfish guys around here, included with the price of taking you out fishing, bait rods, all of that, they clean the catch afterwards and they fillet the catfish. And you're talking like when me and my daughter went the very first time with Cliff, we caught our limit, so that's 50 catfish that he sat there and filleted and bagged for us. So
Oh
you
my
got somebody
God.
doing that, it's like, they deserve. Yeah, it's included in the price, but that deserves a little bit more tip from me.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like cleaning that many damn fish.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of all that, let's. I got some pictures of this trip. We've been talking this whole time.
Yeah.
Great conversation. We'll keep it going, but we need to look at some shots of this one.
Yeah, let's see it.
Because it was a good trip.
Okay.
Wow.
Some big ones.
Mm-hmm.
I got Gus covered up over there, man. Darn it.
Yeah, my brother and I in the upper right over there hacking out strategies as we're still motoring out.
Yeah, figuring out what the game plan is going to be.
You guys weren't in the AC, huh?
Well, again, to the point about earlier, when the mob rushed the dock, by the time we got onto the boat, there were no more spots inside. So we just, you know what? The 21 knot AC is going to have to do.
Right. Hey, y'all did good. What are you doing? We don't want to see him. Oh.
I couldn't figure out which layout that I could get this going with. So yeah, you can see here. This is Ben's shots over here on the bottom left. That's him like playing back at the house. Of course, them piling up the fish or the stringers on the deck top left as they were bringing them out, and then everybody collecting their stuff in the bottom right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben, I got some more pictures I'll be sending to you.
Okay. So for those who haven't seen, one of the spots in the upper left there, you can see numbers across the rail. Those are your spots on the head boat. The reels they have piled up there are all the boat offered rods and reels. They are normally Penn Senators. You'll find some Daiwas in there as well. They're very serviceable. They do the job, but they're not great. So you can bring your own stuff, but again, it's on your own system, and if you break it, then it's all on you. Heaven forbid if you drop one of those rods in the water, because they will charge you a replacement cost that is a lot more than what that rod and wheel combo is made up for. So
Nice.
Yeah, you can see the middle picture in the upper middle is the water was just lovely blue and very little wave action. It was not a difficult trip. I don't remember seeing any comers. Stanley, I don't recall seeing anybody come to the back rail.
Sick, huh? I remember on our ride, there were people sitting outside that got soaked that didn't fit in the AC. So,
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was a little choppy outside of the jetty in that area. But man, we got a couple miles offshore. The water turned just electric blue. It got glassy flat, not glassy, but really flat, like, the little 6-inch rollers going through. And yeah, there wasn't there. I didn't see anybody chumming the waters. I didn't see anybody having any sick issues. I didn't see anybody getting wet either.
Right. Because every year when I try to grab seats for this boat ride and the strip, I always try to grab the back of the boat, the stern. The risk on that is that they always tell you during the orientation, if you have to throw up, get to the back and do your business over there. So in years past, we've had to be fishing with people who are running back there and evacuating the contents of their stomach. And it's like, well, all right, I'll just fish over here then.
Yeah, I mean that's your prime time chum spot right there. What's up, fishhead? Man. That's a selling point to me. Like, that's something to where maybe that the back end of the boat should, those spots should come at a premium.
Mm-hmm. So a side preview, I'm going to give away something a little bit here, Stanley, on this, is that last year I did take an underwater camera and just to test it. Well, it's a nice shot, by the way. I love that shot there with the open background. But I took an underwater camera last year, but I just tested it by putting a weight at the bottom and driving it to the bottom to see what it looked like. This year, I went the next step and added a hook and bait. So I wanted to catch a catch being brought up. So there was a lot of footage from the camera of underwater action, some very interesting shots, some very crazy looking things that happened. And I've given all that content over to Stanley. And so he's gonna find the gems in the rough out of all that and hopefully, share some. But there was some of the very interesting shots that came from that trip last Saturday.
It's going to be epic. I'm telling you right now, like this. I'm just gonna commit to it and sell it right now. This is going to be the best video I have ever made.
Nice.
Yeah, he's saying they can't keep them in the Atlantic because they're endangered. They're endangered here too. You can only keep 2 in federal waters, and the season is like a couple months long. So
Yeah, the rare and elusive American red snapper, the arse, as we call it.
which is everywhere.
At Aon, you can use minnow lures for 'em. You can use artificials. We talked about it a little bit earlier for anybody who's catching this later and after the fact. There are rules to artificials, to the kind of hook you have to use for red snapper. Minnow lures, probably not the best, and you'll see in the video that we get out on this, it's a massive school of snapper that's sitting down at the bottom, and they start to get excited. They will eat anything. It's easiest to get them, in my opinion, on just a slab of whatever kind of bait you're using. I prefer squid. That's the easiest way of getting them. But yeah, you can use lures for them. They'll take a lure. Short season. Is that fish head? Are you talking about in Florida or Atlantic? It's a short season regardless.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Gulf.
Yeah, okay.
So what did you guys bring home exactly? Two reds and 2 vermilions, or
You can keep more of a million than you can reds.
We went home with our federal limit of red snapper, it was me and Rachel there. And so we got 2 per piece, two red snapper, and then a half dozen of the beeliners, the vermilions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think red snappers are the only snapper that has such strict rules on sizes and seasons and all that nonsense.
Okay. Well, cool. So you brought home 16 fish?
I brought home 10.
Okay.
And it should have been more. We had a couple others that we should have kept, and we didn't. We had a couple of what are the tomtat something? We should have kept those. Used them as bait. Andrew, looking for advice. I'm trying to catch a fish. Let's call it Stanley Searcher. How do I get it to reply to my DMs? What DMs? What am I missing? I don't see any. I feel like I've got something wrong with like my stuff, because I know that I'm missing DMs, but I didn't know I was missing anything from you, and it makes me question what I've got going on. Is this Discord?
Because I'm missing a very elusive fish to catch.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for that, John.
First, you offer a beer.
Yeah, that helps.
Bait. Bait. Dude, I'm easy. I just want some bait.
So are you guys in about 70 foot this time, or deeper, or
100 to 110?
A little deeper.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah, deeper.
Yeah, even when the captain said he was going to take us out to some places for vermilion, he did say that I was going to be out in deeper water. Now, of course, they're all kind of intermingled in there, because people were catching vermilion snapper and some lane snapper amongst the reds at almost every spot.
And I didn't double check in that picture. Like, it's kind of hard to tell, but in that one of me with the red shirt, bottom left corner, there's a couple of darker snapper in there. I didn't take a close look at them, but I swear those were mangroves or one of those other kind of snapper.
Kubera, maybe?
Dog snapper, Kubera. Yeah, maybe Kuberas.
Okay. And I did see at least 2 kings brought on the boat as well.
So you take a small child with you that can't reel in the fish. They get to ride along for $10 to $15, but they count them for the boat limit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I take my granddaughter with me. I can keep 4 red snapper. All right.
Oh, that is worth its weight in gold. That is why you subscribe to this channel, boys and girls. That right there.
Yeah.
That's $150 price.
Yep.
Write notes, buy beer. Yep, there you go. Andrew, you got it now.
And of course, in talking about the things we're going to do afterwards, one of the things we were talking about doing now is in-state water snapper fishing. There are some charters that go out of like Port Aransas and other of the major spots on the Texas coast that they are licensed for in-state fishing, but not federal. The federal ones are not licensed for in-state, so they can't carry both apparently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I've been on the boats, even in state waters, and they've caught a red snapper, and the passenger was told you can't keep it. We're licensed at federal water. We're not licensed for state, so we got to throw it back. But the guys who are licensed for in-state fishing, where in Texas you can keep 4 per person per day.
All right.
So it's going to be a
15
much shorter ride at only 9 nautical miles, and you can keep twice as many fish. So I think we're looking at getting one of those done soon too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they only got to be 15 inches, so more keepers too.
16.
Mm-hmm.
16.
No, 15 in state waters. It's 16 in federal waters, right?
Oh, 16 in federal is what I was seeing. Yeah, 16 and two bag limit. And then in state
In
waters.
state waters, you can get 4, and it's 15. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. I would probably be letting some 15s go if I did not, if you hadn't said that.
Now,
Aeon,
go ahead.
it says, do you have any saltwater shore fishing lures to recommend? I tell you what, I will be completely transparent. Artificials is not my strong suit. And like 90% of the artificials that I use are spoons and slab spoons. It's literally just a slab of something shiny. You can take a spoon, like a literal spoon, and put a hook on that thing, and something like that is what I do for like 90% of the artificials that I do in saltwater. Period. Unless it's really, really clear, then I change.
Get some jig heads and throw on some of the gulp lures. You know, the curly tails or the shrimps. Yes. Anything gulp works well out there if you're looking for like trout, flounder, like the gulp. So, yeah, paddle tails. Yeah.
That's why people get children. I understand it now. Lonesome, dude. If there were jacks to be had, I would be all over that. I love jacks like nobody's business. But we weren't getting them out there this weekend though.
Yeah, I don't remember getting a lot of strange catches when I went that last year. So.
So, are the strange catches on the board behind you too? Because I only see one that looks like it's maybe gray or something and longer down there.
On the top, let's see here. So on the top row towards the back, there's a long dark fish. That's a kingfish that somebody got. But underneath it, I think that's a red snapper underneath it. But if you look underneath it and then like 4 or 5 fish over there, 2 darker fish. One smaller, darker fish, that's a Tom Tate. And then below that and to the left of it, that doesn't look like a red snapper to me. I know it's not the best photo. But that to me, that looked like a Cubera or one of the other, a dog snapper or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, glad y'all had a good time. Worth it.
Yeah.
It was a blast. It was a lot of fun, and man, I tell you what, I cannot wait to be doing it again. We're talking about, I want to do it out of Port Aransas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stanley, your brother's asking. When's the fish fry, bro?
Which one? We caught enough for multiple fish fries, so pick a date.
Nice.
Yep. Like Stanley, we also tried to harvest the red snapper cheeks and the throats as well, and we had enough cheek meat and belly meat, especially rib meat. There's this one guy that has a YouTube channel called The Fishmonger, and he talked about how to get between the rib bones and then pull out a little slab of meat between the ribs and between the cheek and the rib meat. We made some delicious tacos that Sunday night.
Making me hungry now.
Speaking my language.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Well, on that note, for anybody who wants any additional information, if you have any questions or anything about red snapper, all of these gentlemen right here are going to be available. Leave a comment on this video if you're catching us after the fact, and we would be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you got. Because there's plenty of things that we were not even able to fit into this entire live stream. As of right now, though, gentlemen, it is that time. We need to take a look at the Discord server because those guys have been off the hook the last couple of weeks, and we got a lot of pictures we need to look at. We got to add somebody to the Photographer of the Week 2024 Wall of Fame.
Yes.
You
Let's
guys
do
ready
it.
for me?
I have been in a few times checking in on the Discord, seeing a few pictures, but I'm sure I haven't seen all of these.
There's a lot.
Let's see it.
People have been catching some fish. And this is going to be like, so we went out on this epic snapper trip. Ben, this is where we're going to test our mettle, is seeing how we did on that snapper trip versus how everybody else has been doing. So now you get to
All
look
right.
at the weather vane.
All right, bring it.
Yeah, now's the chance. So these are our photos of the week. They are brought to you by the Premier Fishing and Hunting Discord server. If you are interested in getting in on that, please do. There's a link in the description down below, and we would love to have you. It's a great opportunity for us to all enjoy and share our experiences together so that we can live vicariously through the trips that we all get to do. Starting the week off, I got a little something special. It's for my nephew, Bryce. We went out on his first trip of the year a couple of days ago, and he was tearing it up. He was on fire. Got himself a nice walleye and a good-sized bass.
Nice. Congrats, young man.
Yes, sir.
Bryce, yeah.
Congrats.
Kudos and congratulations,
Up
man.
in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, he's in Wisconsin, and he's practicing to get me all set up for when I get up there in a couple of weeks.
Ah, so he can school you.
No, so that he can help me. And next up, we got Wild Japan.
Nice. I didn't miss those.
Now, I want to see him bite the head off that thing in his mouth. I dare you.
Dude, that carp. What did you do with that carp, by the way? 70 centimeters. That's, I had the inches now and I forget it. It's big.
He hugged it. We know that.
Mm-hmm. Probably gave it a big kiss.
Right? Right?
You tried to bite the head off of that too?
I'm glad he caught some fish finally.
Yeah.
Get on some good ones. A couple of days out there.
Nice.
And some pretty ones too. And next up, all these gentlemen: Ducky, Ghost, Egg Fried Earth, Steady, Burbly Cars, Rolf, and Penn Realist. You're going to be hearing that name a couple of times throughout the course of this whole photo show. All kinds of good
that's
catches.
Pompano. That's Pompano, though.
Exactly right. I think that was his first Pompano.
Nice.
Sweet.
Very nice.
And for the record on that, they're catching Pompano out at Fish Pass right now. I'm hearing. I'm going to try to be sick or something in the next couple of days.
What are we doing here?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I literally had my father-in-law like almost cussing me out like an hour ago, telling me I need to be down fishing right now.
He just needs to keep sending you pictures. That's all.
Yeah, it just started raining in Houston, so yeah, it's a good excuse to leave the area. Yeah, so
Any excuse. Yeah, I'm going to use the exact same excuse. It's raining in Houston. I need to go fishing. And next up, a little bit more Penn Realist, Sage, Truther, Curse, and the Scottish Power Ranger.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Smalley.
Sage is tearing it up. He's got a lot of stuff going on right now. Good catches. And Penn, that snapper is it's okay.
Yeah. That's a nice one.
I'm not going to say it's amazing. I'll show you amazing.
now that we're elite, right?
Here we go. Here we go.
It was nice seeing other guys getting out there into the snapper, though, taking advantage of the season.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And that's Big Hit Savage. Of course, this is like not even close to the amount of actual fish he's catching. This is just his best catches.
Good Lord.
Great. Play some for the rest of us.
Yeah, no kidding.
How many fish has he caught this year so far? I mean,
Oh my
Hundreds.
goodness.
golly.
Species-wise, like if you're asking species, I'm going to guess 3 dozen, 4 dozen species.
He's just killing it.
Yeah.
Way to go. Way to go.
And he's excited about every single one of them. I love it. I love the energy.
Yeah. Yep. Nice. Very nice. Golly.
And we got
I cleared.
Gibby, EVR, the Hispanic Ninja, Sierra, and Anbam.
Some nice fish.
Nice fish there too. Like that snook.
Yeah.
Now that one crappie there, or panfish, or perch, whatever the heck you want to call it, with the hand underneath it, that's probably what about a 2-year-old hand, right? Because that's not that's an adult hand. That's
No,
a
that's-
good plate of a fish.
I don't know what she's doing. Her thing is bluegills. And every time she has pictures of bluegills, she's got some slab of a bluegill that she's catching.
She got a good spot, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can tell it's a big fish by the size, the shadow, the way the shadow the top part of its back.
Yeah,
It's pretty
Yeah,
big.
reflection.
yeah. Looks like a little bitty head because the body builds up right around it.
Yeah, that's nice. I'd eat it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Gunpoint, if he's still here, dude, you are killing it. Also, did not even get to do him justice with the amount of catching he's been
Nice
doing.
hybrid. Basses. Cat. Dang, you did good. Carp.
Was that striper a hybrid?
I think it's hybrid.
Okay, I can't
You
tell.
got
I can't
the
tell the
broken
difference.
lines and just how thick the body is. Usually
Oh, okay.
stripers are a little bit longer, not quite as full bellied as that one is.
Hmm.
Nice, nice
Good job,
catch.
yes.
Getting into some good catches, and also he is doing a YouTube channel. And not only is he doing a YouTube channel, he's just starting off. I think he's got 1 or 2 videos, but he's putting time and effort. Like, the reason he only has 1 or 2 videos is because he takes so much time editing multiple days into one video experience.
Ah, okay.
Really good work. So anyone who's looking for another good channel to follow, we will have a link for him. He's in the Discord server. If he pops up in the chat, I'll pin the link to the channel. But you can definitely find him in the Discord.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
Ooh.
Mystic and G Llama.
Convicts. Yeah, golly, those are good eating too.
That a mutton snapper up there in the middle?
Yeah, he's got himself
Yeah,
a
looks like
mutton. And that's not a very good picture of it. It's a smaller picture, but that is his first Jewfish.
Oh, you got a little
Goliath
Goliath
grouper.
huh? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice. And that squid inked him. You see his finger down
Somebody
there.
got inked, yeah.
Yeah, that squid got him. Yeah, sheep's head are delicious, so that's a really nice catch there.
Yeah, that's a primetime catch.
I've got a friend that actually has a phobia against the sheep's head just because he doesn't like the people teeth.
I hear that.
Well,
I
tell him
hear
if he
it.
catches them, give them to you. Man, them on the half shell. They are
Good
delicious.
stuff.
Pro tip: anybody who does YouTube videos on sheep's head, like if you haven't done this already, for the thumbnail, just take a picture of his mouth. Everybody goes nuts on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like the trigger fish, even though you know everybody's shown when they caught one how the trigger works, you're still going to show it on your video just in case
Yep,
someone didn't see it.
yep, exactly. Or they want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Tastes like tilapia. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good comparison.
I think it's more close to like because they eat so much crustacean and all that. They'll call them a poor man's lobster. Even they got more of a, I don't know. It's more unique, a little bit of sweetness to them. I like them a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I don't know. We could have a whole discussion about the tiers of like fish and stuff like that. They're good. Just
Yeah, they're up there.
they're good.
Tilapia to me is just a baseline fish. You know, not much flavor really.
You hear that?
Man, nice.
Nice red ear.
Golly, yeah, it is. Nice trout up there too, rainbow.
Yeah.
What's that
Oh, yeah,
Mo's
they're
got?
catching goldfish too.
Yeah, really.
What's that top left? I can't tell if those.
He's got a sink full of smallmouth.
Ah, okay. There you
Eagle Michael, that's Mike P that popped into the chat here. And then Celestial Dementia.
Nice.
Oh, the flounder's got me jealous. I haven't caught a flounder in a couple of years.
All right, the flounder's looking good.
I could not agree more. In fact, I'm thinking about taking out going up on a flounder charter or guide or something here in the Port Aransas area just to get brushed up on it because it's been so long since I've done it.
Right.
Yeah, see, he wants some.
Oh, there we go. More flounder.
Yeah.
All in your face. That's a very unique looking fish, ain't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he catches, I'll tell you what, Michael catches a lot of flounder. That's probably why. He can get bigger ones. You've seen the pictures that he posts in there. He loves rubbing it in my face about the flounder.
That's a nice one right there on the screen.
I don't mind him doing it either because that just encourages me to go out and get some.
Ooh, some big cats and carp.
Oh my!
Yeah, studs.
How's he holding those big catfish with one hand each? They look huge.
Wow.
Strong.
Apparently so.
He's caught enough of them.
Light geared strength.
Yeah, it's probably one of those. Okay, get ready.
Damn.
Take the picture. Put them down.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you got the back in.
Right.
Yeah. Which you don't see the grandchildren behind those fish holding them up.
Nice fish.
Yeah, definitely.
Saltwater 24/7 says you hear about the one-day snapper season I get this year in Atlantic. I'm hoping you at least get a bit of a bag limit with that.
Right? They should at least let you keep 5 or something. Dang.
Yeah, right. That sucks, man. Sorry.
If you go out, be careful because everyone's going to be crazy getting out there to get them.
Oh yeah, they're going to be just the Coast Guard is going to be just writing tickets left and right on it too. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But did you learn your lesson? Wreck fishermen are catching way too many of these red snapper. They're ruining the fisheries, and we have to cut down on the amount of fish that they're allowed to catch. Just to keep it fair.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool. I forgot what those are called, but they're very cool catfish. You're not going to catch them here in the States.
Especially got his glam on. He got glammed up.
Yeah, they're one of the coolest looking catfish. Dang, I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, that belongs in an aquarium.
Yeah, they get big too. The other one up there's a big old flathead. Walleye and some bass.
Rolf, that is a stud cat, by the way, guy.
That's cruel, Stanley. He belongs in an aquarium.
Yeah, it probably kind of is. It would be a big damn aquarium that guy would have to go into.
Yeah, that's a cool fish.
Yeah, dude, we don't get enough good walleye shots around here.
Right?
Where's our Michigan guys at? They're the ones
Right.
that catch all the dang walleyes.
Yeah, they didn't pop in tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, red-tailed cat. I think that is what it's called.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Oops, we got the toonie.
Pretty.
Ooh, blackfin.
Crappie, mahi. Boy, there's a lot of good eating fish right there.
Yeah. Dark Soldier tearing it up. I like seeing him getting out on the water and doing some fishing. He works
A lot
hard.
of crappie. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is.
So
I was just
and
gonna say-
there are some largemouth bass in there too, right?
Yeah, there's 3
Yeah, it looks like a couple of them in there.
and some bluegill.
Yep.
Adding a
Yeah,
little
some
meat to the
bluegills.
pile.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Peter, that is exactly what I want to try to figure out up in Lake Waco, man, is that fishing trip. That's what we do in Wisconsin. And that's what I'm dying to get into here. It's fun.
Nice snook. Golly, that's a big one. Oh, Did David catch that bear or what? Or he just got a picture of it?
It's right there by his cleaning table.
Hey, go
Yeah.
pet it.
In Soviet Russia, bear catches you.
Like he said, he was taking the trash out and seen that bear.
Golly.
That's nice.
Man. Now,
Rush hour, it's a
Edward's
good
got to get a
movie.
better picture of that bass. He's got half the fish in the picture. We
I
wanna see
know
the
that's
whole
such a good picture too. He did it all right. We just don't have like enough of the fish
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, yeah. Pike and bass and cats. Nice.
I think that might be the Discord server record for a pike right now. That 35 inch.
Yeah, and that's a lot of pike today.
Yeah,
Got a lot of
yeah, it
pike
is.
caught.
Well, they all pike. I thought one was a muskie, but I'd be the first one to say I don't know the difference that well.
I don't think we have any muskie this week.
I don't
Somebody
think so
claimed a
either.
muskie, and I think it was just a really dark pike that was misclaimed, and I don't know enough about it to be able to say on that. But I don't think we got any muskie.
It was a pike in a muskie suit.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, somebody met the tax man.
Yep.
That would have been a big one.
Got yourself a part of a snapper pen.
Yeah. Got the cheeks and the
Yeah,
collar.
you get some cheeks in the throat there. Sorry.
That's
That's when you turn the
It
deckhand and
sucks.
say, "I want to donate this one to the charity pool."
Yeah. Throw it back.
Are you allowed to throw it back, or you got to keep it on the boat?
No,
think-
you have to throw it back.
Yeah, because it doesn't measure.
Gotcha.
Doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't measure, so you're not supposed to keep it.
Yep.
Hmm.
And now it is that time. We need to designate ourselves a photographer of the week, and we are actually going to take the two highest vote counted people here of this whole thing, whatever. We got a couple people to vote at in order to add to the Wall of Fame. So our options this week are going to be Wild Japan, Sage Truther, Bacon Rider, Rush Hour, Fishing, Pen Realist, and Rolf.
I know what I'm voting for. I like all those, but there's one stood out to me.
So are we
All good
voting for
catches.
two?
Who's going on the wall?
No, just the
Vote
two
for-
highest numbered votes, right?
Yeah, vote for one, and then the two highest are going to get on the Wall of Fame.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that schnook. Yeah, that flathead catfish is nice too.
Yep.
They're all nice.
That snook is awesome, no doubt, but I like C because it's got two people in it with two fishes, and it's got all the things that you need in the picture. You got the face, you got
Yep.
the pose.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's a good one. That's a good picture.
That's very representative of like what we want to be supporting.
I'm voting for Wild Japan because I'm pretty sure he took that picture himself, and that's a nice carp.
I kind of agree.
Yep.
I want to
A lot
see
of
like
effort.
that's just a good photo that looks like it has a lot of personality to it.
Yeah, definitely A for effort.
Yeah, him and that carp are close.
A for effort.
All right, folks. You got
And by the way,
seconds left.
Mr. Wild, I was thinking about Wild Japan earlier this week because my brother showed me a couple of YouTube videos. A guy had gone to Japan to go fishing, and he started scouting around fishing stores in Tokyo, and just a number of places that have the most weird lures, everything from like large worms, bugs, mice, ducks. It was just very eclectic to see what people would fish with in Japan.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's one of the neat things about watching what he's doing on his channel in general is not just like they use a completely different thing. They're catching completely different kinds of species, but they also, the mentality behind a lot of the things that they do is completely different as well. They have a whole thing about catching the smallest fish on like a cane pole. Unique and
All right.
interesting. Like they have tournaments for that.
All right, now we got DNA going. Get your votes in, folks. Time's up.
Yeah, we got 30 seconds. Cast your vote now or let it forever be. Actually, there's not going to be any, we're not going to be shifting anything here. Our winners this week are going to be Wild Japan and Rush Hour Fishing. Gentlemen, congratulations, and thank you so much for all of, for sharing your experience with us. We really appreciate that. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the wall. Of course, also thanks to Big Hit Savage, Gunpoint Llama, King Dingaling, Worst Fishing Person, Ye Mystic, and Bam. You guys have all been added to the weekly Waitlister Award. Thanks to the quantity of work you made me do with all of the photographs.
Very nice.
Guys, it is that time. What are we going to be expecting from everybody this week so that we can hold ourselves accountable next Tuesday? John, starting with you, man. What do you got?
Well, I'm road tripping. The next 3 days, I'll be on the road. And then maybe while I'm in Michigan, this time I might actually get a chance to go fishing. We'll see how that pans out.
Sweet.
Want to see some of that.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
As far as videos, I'll be making a fishing backpack video. I got sent one. Wasn't through Amazon. It was straight from the company. He wanted me to make a video, so be
Very
putting
cool.
that out in the next couple of
Nice.
days.
Look forward to that.
Cool.
Ben and I are going to be working on putting out the most amazing snapper video that you have ever seen in your life. So stay tuned to that. Make sure to check out everybody's channels. They are linked in the description down below, as well as the video that we did on our last trip. So if you have any questions about snapper fishing, that is where you're going to find all of your answers. Thank you so much for joining us on the live stream tonight. We really appreciate it. Come and check us out the Discord server. And we look forward to seeing you when we do this all over again next Tuesday. I'll have a wonderful night, guys.
Peace out.
Y'all take care.
Good night.